Good afternoon, football fans. Big Al here on this Football Thursday. It is September 26, 2024. And welcome to my Week 4 NFL picks, both straight up and against the spread. Plus, we'll also be taking a look at the injury report for tonight's Cowboys-Giants game. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that right now before we get into my picks. Alright, so the Dallas Cowboys have safety Marquise Bell. He is doubtful tonight with an ankle. And cornerback Kalen Carson is also doubtful with a shoulder. Cornerbacks Trayvon Diggs and C.J. Goodwin. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence. Defensive tackle Mozzie Smith. And tight end John Stevens Jr. All are listed on the injury report as well. Everyone was a full participant in practice with the exception of Goodwin. And for the Giants tonight, cornerback Adoree Jackson is out with a calf. Cornerback Andrew Phillips is also out with a calf. So they are getting pretty thin in that defensive backfield. Meanwhile, wide receiver Darius Slayton is questionable with a thumb injury. Also listed on the injury report for New York, tackle Jermaine Illuminor, defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, cornerback Nick McLeod, linebacker Micah McFadden, and center John Michael Schmitz. Illuminor and Schmitz were both full participants in practice, while the remaining players were limited this week. So that's the injury report. Now let's jump over to my picks. I went 8-8 last week against the spread and straight up. So overall, my straight up record is now 29-19. And my ATS record is 28-19-1. After a couple of so-so weeks, I look to get back on the winning track. That's what I meant to say. So, okay. Let's jump over to the picks. Starting off with Thursday Night Football. And tonight, it's a battle of the NFC East, as the 1-2 New York Giants host the 1-2 Dallas Cowboys. Tonight at 8:15 Eastern on Prime. And let's see, week 4, right? Yeah, here we go, week 4. Tonight's game will also be shown on KDFW and WNYW, the Fox stations in both Dallas, Fort Worth, and New York. The Cowboys coming at number 18 in my Week 4 power rankings. The Giants are at number 28, as Dallas lost to Baltimore at home last week. Nearly had that fourth quarter comeback. And the Giants won a sloppy game in Cleveland against the Browns. The announcers for tonight's game are Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit, and sideline reports from Kaylee Hartung. Current point spread is Dallas -6, and the over-under is at 45.5. I have the Cowboys winning this game 27-20 because I really don't see them losing 3 straight games. This will go over the 45.5 point total, and I'm taking Dallas -6. Now to Sunday, we got the 0-3 Cincinnati Bengals at the 1-2 Carolina Panthers, and it's a revenge game for new Panthers starter Andy Dalton playing against his former team. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The announcers for this game are Kevin Kugler and Daryl Johnston, and sideline reports from Laura Oakman. The Bengals lost a shootout last Monday night against the Washington Commanders 38-33 to put them in this dubious 0-3 spot, while the Carolina Panthers got off the schneid and beat the Las Vegas Raiders last week. Current point spread is Cincinnati -4. The over-under is at 47. I'm taking the Bengals to win this one 27-20, and if they lose this game, they are in big trouble. The game will push the 47-point total, and I'm taking the Bengals -4. Alright, next up, the Denver Broncos with a 1-2 record face off with the New York Jets at 2-1. Oh, and the Bengals are 27th in my Week 4 power rankings, and the Panthers are 30th. I forgot to mention that. Now we can talk about the Broncos and the Jets. Denver comes in at 1-2. New York comes in at 2-1. The Broncos are 26th in my latest power rankings for Week 4, while the Jets are number 10. Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Your announcers are Ian Eagle and Charles Davis, and sideline reports from Evan Washburn. Alright, the Broncos dominated the Buccaneers last week, winning in Tampa 26-7, while the Jets emerged victorious last Thursday night, beating up the New England Patriots 24-3. Current point spread is New York -7.5, and the over-under is at 40. I have the Jets winning a rather tight game, 24-17. The game will go slightly over 40, and I'm taking the Broncos, shockingly enough, at +7.5. Alright, next up, the 0-3 Jacksonville Jaguars, whose struggles continue. They will face C.J. Stroud and the 2-1 Houston Texans. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. Your announcers are Andrew Catalan, Tiki Barber, and Jason McCourty, and sideline reports from A.J. Ross. The Jags fell hard to 0-3 after getting smoked by the Bills 47-10, while the Texans also on the wrong end of a blowout, losing to the Vikings 34-7. Current point spread is Houston -6.5, over-under is 45. I got the Texans winning 31-17. Game goes over 45, and I got the hometown team at -6.5. Next, you have legitimately one of the tougher games for me to pick this week: the 1-2 Los Angeles Rams and the 1-2 Chicago Bears. And I forgot the power rankings again. The Jags are number 31, the Texans are number 8. Here, the Rams are number 17, and Chicago fell all the way to number 29. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox, your announcers are Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth, with sideline reports from Christina Pink. The Rams had that stunning comeback win last week at home against the 49ers, while the Bears, who didn't take advantage of the poor run defense of the Colts, ended up losing in Indianapolis in Week 3. Current point spread is Chicago -3, over-under is at 41. I'm taking the Bears 21-17. Due to all the injuries with the Rams, I don't think lightning will strike twice and them winning. And I have the Bears at -3. Then you got the undefeated Minnesota Vikings, one of 3 unbeatens left in the league, battling the Green Bay Packers at 2-1. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS, your announcers will be Kevin Harlan and Trent Green, and sideline reports from Melanie Collins. The Vikings moved to 3-0 after an emphatic win over the Texans, while the Packers were also victorious last week. Trying to think who they played. But I think they played New England. The Packers did win last week. I just can't remember who they played. Okay. Current spread is Green Bay minus 2.5. Over-under is 43.5. I have Green Bay winning this one 27-23. The game going over 43.5. And I'm taking the Pack at minus 2.5. Minnesota comes in at number 5 in my Week 4 power rankings. And the Packers are at 13. NFC South matchup up next. That's the 2-1 New Orleans Saints visit the 1-2 Atlanta Falcons. Sunday at 1 p.m. on Fox. Your announcers are Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma, with sideline reports from Megan O'Leary. New Orleans fell to number 12 in my Week 4 power rankings after their high-power offense was shut down by the Philadelphia Eagles last week, 15-12. And the Falcons are coming off a Sunday night home loss at the hands of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, 22-17. And they are number 15 in my Week 4 power rankings. Current spread is Atlanta minus 2.5. Over-under is 42.5. Falcons will win this one 24-21. The game will finish just over 42.5. And I'm taking the Falcons minus 2.5. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, who have suddenly a lot of injury problems after that come from behind win against the Saints. They're in Tampa this week, taking on another NFC South rival in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a rematch of last season's NFC wildcard playoffs. Alright, so this game is at Sunday at 1 on Fox. Your announcers are Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady. Sideline reports from Aaron Andrews and Tom Rinaldi. Philly moved to number 7 in my Week 4 power rankings, while the Bucs fell to 14. And again, the Eagles have injury concerns. A.J. Brown's listed on the injury report. He has missed the last 2 games with a hamstring. Not sure if he's going to play again this week. Devonta Smith has a concussion. Darius Slay has a foot injury. Lane Johnson is suffering a concussion. Plus, Mekhi Becton and Landon Dickerson find themselves on Philadelphia's injury report as well. I'll touch base with all those injuries and more on Sunday morning right before kickoff, so join me then. The Eagles again came from behind and beat the Saints in New Orleans last week, 15-12. While the Bucs lost at home last week to an underwhelming Denver team, 26-7. Current point spread is Philly minus 1.5, and the over-under is 44. I think even with all these injuries, the Eagles will persevere once again. I have Philly winning 27-20. Take the over in this game. And I have the Birds at minus 1.5. The last of the early games, you got the 3-0 Pittsburgh Steelers at the 1-2 Indianapolis Colts. Pittsburgh with a little measure of revenge of their own, as they went to Indy last year and got smashed. They look to return the favor this week. Sunday at 1 Eastern on CBS. Your announcers are Spiro Dedes and Adam Archuleta, and sideline reports from Aditi Kinkawala. The Steelers won an ugly 20-10 game over the Chargers, while the Colts took down Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears last week, 21-16. Correct point spread is Pittsburgh minus 1, over-under is 40. I'm sticking with the Steelers here. I thought about taking the Colts, but I'm sticking with the Steelers. Pittsburgh wins 17-13, game goes under 40, and I have the visiting Steelers at minus 1. Now to the late game. Started off with the 1-2 New England Patriots and the 1-2 San Francisco 49ers, who also have injury concerns of their own. Sunday at 4:05 Eastern on Fox. Steelers are 4th in my power rankings, and the Colts are 24th. Here, the Patriots are 21st, and the 49ers are 11th. Your announcers are Joe Davis and Greg Olson, and sideline reports from Pam Oliver. The Patriots got blown out on Thursday Night Football at the hands of the Jets, 24-3, and the 49ers were on the business end of a 27-24 comeback loss by the LA Rams. Or to the LA Rams, rather. Current point spread is San Francisco minus 10, over under is 40.5. I think the Niners will easily win and cover the spread, given the fact that the Patriots can't score. I have the Niners winning 28-13, game going over 40.5 slightly, and I'm taking San Francisco minus the 10. On to the Washington Commanders at the Arizona Cardinals. The Commanders are 2-1 and fresh off of Monday night's upset win in Cincinnati, while the Cardinals had their ground game taken from them, and it cost them in a 20-13 loss to the Lions. The Cardinals come in at 1-2. Washington is number 22 in my Week 4 power rankings. Arizona is 19th. This game is Sunday at 4:05 on Fox. The announcers are Chris Myers and Mark Schlereth. Sideline reports from Jennifer Hale. Current point spread is Arizona minus 3.5, over under is 50. This may be a letdown spot for Washington. I have Arizona winning 31-21. The game will go over 50. And I have the Cardinals minus 3.5. To part 2 of the CBS doubleheader, some will see the 1-2 Cleveland Browns and the 1-2 Las Vegas Raiders, both coming off losses in Week 3 at the hands of the Giants and Panthers respectively. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on CBS. Your announcers will be Beth Mullins, Jay Feely, and Ross Tucker, with sideline reports from Tiffany Blackman. The Browns lost to the Giants, as I mentioned, 21-15, and the Raiders got pounded by the Panthers, 36-22. Cleveland comes in number 20 in my Week 4 power rankings, the Raiders at 23. Current point spread is Vegas minus 2, and the over-under is at 37. This is going to be a low-scoring affair, I think. Vegas wins it 20-13. I got the game under 37, and I'm taking the Raiders minus 2. Final Sunday afternoon game is one that most of the country will be watching. The 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs at the 2-1 Los Angeles Chargers. Chiefs number 1 in my Week 4 power rankings, Chargers number 16. Sunday at 4:25 on CBS. Your announcers are Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, with sideline reports from Tracy Wolfson. The Chiefs kept their perfect record alive by beating the Falcons last Sunday night, while the Chargers dropped the defensive game at the hands of the Steelers 20-10. Current point spread is Kansas City minus 7.5, and the over-under is 39.5. I have the Chiefs winning 24-13. Game goes under, and I'm taking Kansas City minus the 7.5 points, whether or not Justin Herbert plays on Sunday. I highly doubt that he will, but we're keeping everything open at this time. On the Sunday Night Football, we got a big one in the AFC this week. Josh Allen on an playing at an MVP level, leads the 3-0 Buffalo Bills into Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson and the 1-2 Ravens. Sunday at 8:20 on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Your announcers are Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, with sideline reports from Melissa Stark. Buffalo skyrocket to number 2 in my Week 4 power rankings, while the Ravens are at number 9, back in the top 10, pretty much where they belong. Current point spread is Baltimore -2, and your over-under is at 47. I just have one thing to say about this game. Never go against Josh Allen as an underdog. That said, I got the Bills winning 28-17. The game goes under 47, and I'm taking Buffalo +2. And then we have another Monday night doubleheader on tap for Week 4. The first game will be the 0-3 Tennessee Titans at the 1-2 Miami Dolphins. Monday at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Your announcers will be Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, and Louis Riddick, with sideline reports from Laura Rutledge. Tennessee has dropped to the very bottom of my Week 4 power rankings. They're number 32. The Dolphins are down to number 25. Oh, by the way, the Packers played the Titans and Tennessee lost that game 30-14. I just remember who the Packers played. It was the Titans. And the Dolphins got beat up in Seattle last week 24-3 by the Seahawks. Current point spread is Miami -1, over-under is 37. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans for one reason and one reason only. Ain't no telling who's going to be quarterbacking the Dolphins, because it's not going to be Tua. He has a concussion. And it's not going to be Skylar Thompson, because he's hurt as well. So this will be an ugly defensive game, won by the Titans 16-10. The game will finish well under 37, and I'm taking Tennessee with that modest 1 point. And then the final game of Week 4 is my game of the week. The 3-0 Seattle Seahawks at the 2-1 Detroit Lions. Monday at 8:15 on ABC. Your announcers are Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and sideline reporter Lisa Salters. Seahawks stayed perfect after beating the aforementioned Dolphins 24-3. And the Lions got back in the win column last week, beating the Cardinals in Arizona 20-13. Both teams are in my top 10 in the Week 4 power rankings. Seattle is number 6, Detroit's number 3. Current point spread is Detroit -3.5, over-unders 46.5. I have the Lions winning straight up 31-28. The game will shoot over 46.5. But I'm taking Mitch's advice and going with Seattle plus the 3.5 points to cover. And those are my Week 4 NFL picks, straight up against the spread, straight up and against the spread, plus the injury report for the Cowboys and Giants. We'll look at the remaining games on the Week 4 schedule right before kickoff on Sunday. I'll be back at about noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, for the rest of the Week 4 injury report, so join me then. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pigskin this weekend. Peace out. I wear glasses, but